It is with great pleasure that we welcome in the new head coach of the New York Football Giants. Brian Daboll joins us. And Coach, congratulations on getting the gig. Talk about the emotions that you've gone through over the last 24 hours or so.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them. Obviously excitement. You put a lot of hard work and effort into your craft, and 21 years in the making for this opportunity, a historic franchise, great ownership. Joe coming in and getting hired as a general manager. It's a great honor, a great privilege, and look forward to getting to work.
How important was it with Joe Schoen being named the general manager of the New York Giants to know that you're going to a place where there's somebody that you already know, and because it's a big job, let's face it, but to have that comfort level?
Yeah, I think alignment is very important. The last few years at the Buffalo Bills, I got to see that firsthand with Brandon and Sean. And you put people in a leadership position and make sure that they're aligned, have a proper plan, and then surround them with good people. You have a chance. It's not easy to win in this league. We all know that. It's very challenging. But to try to go through and make sure you're doing the right things and put your team in the right position, I think alignment is critical.
I know you're trying to get your staff organized and get that all together, but what do you believe a Brian Daboll football team should look like?
Yeah, smart, tough, dependable. We're going to have to do a good job of bringing in the right kind of people. Again, it's a challenging process to make sure you're putting together the team that can be competitive week in and week out. We got a lot of work ahead of us to do.
When you talk about team first, a guy like Daniel Jones, who has been here for a couple of years now, getting to work with a quarterback, how important is that to have that kind of relationship with him? Yeah,
it's critical. Relationships are, they're foundations here. Not just with the quarterback, but I'd say with all the players. Getting to know them, what their strengths and weaknesses are, but getting to know them outside the building, what makes them tick. Quarterback is a tough position to play. And he's had a fair amount of coaches here in his first few years and some different schemes. But the first thing I want to do is get to know him as a person and find out what makes him tick, and then we'll do everything we can do to put the pieces around him and design an offense that's suited to his strengths.
Have you guys had any interaction to this point?
Yeah, we've talked. I've talked to a few of the guys since I had this opportunity, and they're looking forward to it. I am too, of getting to know each other, work together. Long road ahead, but seems like a good young man.
Who are some of the great influences for you as you've developed as a coach to get to this point?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'd say my grandparents. I know everybody wants to talk about in this business who's been a mentor, but without them, I wouldn't be here. I lost both of them during the season this past year, which was tough, both from Buffalo. So it was good to be with them at the end of their life. But obviously, when I started out young in this business, I got to work for Bill for a total of 11 years, and I was there a first time, and then in the back time, there was a lot of good assistant coaches on his staff, whether that be Dante Scarnecchia, Charlie Weiss, Eric Mangini, a bunch of those guys. And then I was able to work for Nick, at Alabama just for that 1 year, but as a GA back in college. And then this past 5 years with Sean, or 4 years with Sean. So again, I think it's important to be authentic, no matter who it is. You can learn from a lot of different coaches, a lot of different people. But at the end of the day, players and I'd say support staff and people are going to see right through you if you're not authentic. That's what I try to be.
How important is it, too, the various places that you've been, sort of cherry-picking positive experiences from those places and not be locked into just one way?
Yeah, that's a growth mindset. It's a great question, Bob. I think that the minute you think you have this league and it all figured out, it gets you pretty quick. So being open-minded, listening, learning, I think those are two qualities that you need to have no matter whether you're the head coach, a coordinator, a position coach, a scout, someone that works as a support staff. You don't have all the answers, and I think it's got to be a collaborative effort. It really is. The whole building matters. Organizations win. You have to have good players, you have to have good coaches, you have to have good support staff. But at the end of the day, everybody's got to be working together for one common goal, and you listen and you learn from everybody.
Obviously, football first, and this is a big job coming to the New York Giants.
Sure.
And you're trying to get the staff together. Then you have to go through the whole roster thing. You got Senior Bowl coming up.
Yep.
So this is probably a question for another point in time. What does Brian Daboll like to do when he's not involved in football?
Spend time with my family. I have a great wife and support system at home, and 6 kids. So it keeps you busy. They're all different ages. Our youngest is 4. Our oldest he'll be 22, and all in between there. But really, that's pretty much it. Not too much else than that.
When you walked into the building for the first time, there's those 4 Lombardi trophies sitting right there. And there's the NFC championships, and there's the old NFL championships. Did you feel a level of responsibility as you walked in, once you got the job, to know that I am now the steward of a great tradition that started in 1925?
Yeah, I mean, what a humbling experience. Just, you walk through those doors for the first time, and that's what we all aspire to be. I've been fortunate to be around some teams that have won some, and to walk into these halls, and look, this is a historic franchise. There's so many people that have been through these halls and have played this game for this team, and I understand the task. We have a lot of work to do. It's not just going to be myself or Joe. There's going to be, again, we're going to really collaborate with the people in the building, treat people with respect, try to gain their trust, and once you can do that, everybody's accountable to one another. But yeah, it was awesome.
Coach, what are some of the key elements to putting a staff together?
It's a great question. You want good leaders and good teachers, guys that can build something within their room, that can inspire, that are good listeners and learners, and that can develop people, not just players, but support staff and things like that. But you got to be able to teach. You got to know what you're talking about. I think you need to be authentic, Bob. I think you need to be consistent. We're going to have a lot of ups and downs, and as we go, hopefully more ups and downs. You got to be a really good communicator. You got to be a relationship builder. At the end of the day, players, and I'd say people in general, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and I think that's really important.
Joe Schoen mentioned in his press conference that occasionally he'll hear from Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
Is that something too that's part of your game plan, as far as, hey, if you have a thought or you have a question, reaching out to somebody else outside of the building that you really trust?
Yeah, I think that's part of the growth mindset of, look, there's a lot of things that come across your desk. I've learned this in the last couple of days that you won't expect. And Coach Parcells always said, hey, it's 5 or 6 things a day. And how are you going to react to that? How are you going to lead through that? And it's never going to be perfect, but you do things with a great mindset of trying to get better, trying to learn, and trying to treat people the right way, and you work through it together.
What would be your message to Giants fans as you take over this job?
Yeah, just how excited we are to get to work. We're going to try to put the best staff we can together, put them out on the field, get players that really value the things that we value, and incorporate everyone in our organization to do their very best to put us in the best chance to be successful.
Coach Daboll, welcome to the New York Football Giants.
Appreciate you. Appreciate the time.
Great to be with you. That is Brian Daboll, the new head coach of the New York Football Giants.